afternoon to everyone. My team and I are up here to talk to you about why Paul is greater than Peter. Don't get me wrong, they both are great apostles, but there are multiple reasons for why Paul is the greater of the two. And hopefully by the end of this debate, you will have the same sentiment as us. So Paul, who was originally known as Saul, had the job of killing Christians. In fact, he is first introduced as a well-authoritative Jew who agreed to the stoning of Stephen. Can you imagine that? This man who was persecuting Christians on a day-to-day basis became one of the greatest Christian leaders of all times. That's like Osama bin Laden becoming the President of the United States, or even Adolf Hitler becoming a Jew. So the story of him becoming a Christian is called the Road to Damascus, simply because he is on the road walking to the city of Damascus. To do what? To kill more Christians. But he is stopped by a bright light, which is known to be Jesus. Of course, it asks him, "Why are you persecuting me?" After this encounter, he is blinded for 3 days. But what is he doing during these 3 days? He is fasting, meditating, and praying. His change of heart is almost immediate. After the 3 days, one of the Lord's disciples named Ananias comes to his dwelling to heal his eyes. But when Ananias realizes who Paul is, he's reluctant. Who wouldn't be? This man's killing Christians. Why should he have to help him? But the Lord, seeing this reluctancy in Ananias, gives a wonderful testimony on his behalf. We see it in Acts chapter 9, verse 15 through 16. "Go, for he is the chosen vessel of mine to bear my name before Gentiles, kings, and the children of Israel. For I will show him how much he must suffer for my name's sake." So I have a question for you guys. Would you guys like to help someone that was mean to you, hurt you, or anything like that? No. But would you like to help someone that was nice to you? Yes. Paul is blinded, yet he turns around and listens to the Lord at a moment's notice. In fact, right after his eyes were healed, he got baptized, and right after that, he started preaching. Peter, on the other hand, was the first disciple and was handpicked by the Lord himself. Yet it took him a long time to start preaching. And he even denied him not once, not twice, but 3 times. Jesus even told Peter in chapter 16 of the Gospel of Matthew, "You are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church." Yet Paul was the one traveling around the world, building churches and preaching to Gentiles. I'm not done. Preaching to Gentiles. So how can anyone in this church argue that Peter is greater than Paul when we all came from Gentile blood? Amen. I want to point out one more thing before I conclude my speech. Most of the time, people dwell on their past failures, therefore they lose sight of their future success. But that doesn't do anyone any good, right? For example, Team Peter over here will regret choosing Peter after this debate, but hopefully they will move on and keep going. So I will give you some advice from Peter's life. We see this in Philippians chapter 13, "Forgetting what is behind and straining towards what is ahead." This is exactly what Paul did in his life. He did not let the guilt of him killing Christians pull him down. He just kept moving forward. Now that I've pointed out the facts, the decision is yours. As for me and Team Paul, we will choose Paul as the greater of the two. Thank you.